Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the Scarlet Citadel, a campaign module brought to you by Kobold Press. Our group is called Kobold Press. We are a group of D&D players who have been sharing Tuesday nights for the last couple years. We are hoping to share this adventure with you. During this module, we'll be using some audio by Tabletop Audio, so if you do enjoy that, please make sure you check that out. The artwork for the background is brought to you by one of our players. That'll be Zadok. My name is Jeff. I will be DMing this campaign, and I am lucky to share it with the players that you will meet throughout this. Hope everyone who does tune in hopefully enjoys this. If you do, please be sure to like and subscribe. Any comments, feedback would be greatly appreciated. As we get started, I want to turn this over to my players for introductions. We can either do this by volunteer or victim. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, just just go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you'll be playing. We'll save character introductions, like full detail for when we're in the game.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Pontius, and I will be playing Urson Goreclaw. He is a bear folk barbarian, and I'm really looking forward to playing this guy. He's going to be a lot of fun. He's going to be a big, simple beat stick.
Super awesome. Looking forward to meeting him. We'll just go down the side of the window in clockwise order. So turn it over to you, Crunch.
All right. My name is Jack, and I am playing Crunch Goldenthorn. And he is deeply misunderstood and lovable. And that I'm going to stick with that.
Fantastic. All right. Across the aisle to Alosha.
Yeah, I'm John, and I am playing Losha, who is a young girl running from destiny, I guess. I think that's pretty descriptive.
Perfect. And last
Yeah.
but not least, we bring it to the looks of the party, Zadok.
Yes. I'm Zadok. Also go by Steven or Zed. I will be playing a Satare wizard who loves Baba Yaga and got this tip from a side table.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Grandmother. Yes. Really looking forward to this. This is going to be fun.
Awesome. And for anybody who happens to check this out, Scarlet Citadel is a adventure module by Kobold Press, a third-party publisher for Adventures of Dungeons and Dragons. We have no affiliation with Kobold Press, but if Kobold Press wants to have an affiliation with us, I am certain we would welcome it. With that, we are going to dive in to our adventure. That is really loud. Let me turn that down. Our adventure begins in the Northlands in the city of Bjornheim. Urson Goreclaw, you have received a letter beckoning you to the city of Zobek. It is from an unknown sender to you, but it is offering you quite a bit of money to escort a prince of a noble house on his journey for fame and glory into the infamous Scarlet Citadel. This letter pays you compliment, recognizing your skills as a renowned guide, and how you have the utmost confidence that you would be the best person to assist on this journey. After agreeing to take this mission, you arrive in the free city of Zobak. Zobak is at a important juncture of trade and travel in the world of Midgard. Centrally located, most roads of trade and travel intersect and come through the city, also known as the City of Gears. Its patronage to the goddess Rava, goddess of clockwork. Your benefactor, or your prospective employer, has given you instructions to meet in the Kobold ghettos. As you make your way through the pristine city, you find yourself in what would best be described as slums. You have to cross into a gated off area, and the instructions lead you to a very run-down and dilapidated looking building. As you go through the streets, eyes of aptly described kobolds are upon you. Two-story buildings, but mostly 15 feet high at the most. You stand almost able to see into some of the second-story windows. It has a very pungent smell. Most of the technological improvements of this city have not made their way into this area. As you make your way through some narrow alleys, you finally reach the destination and the instructions of the letter. It is an inn of sorts known as the Rat and the Roach. You have to duck to enter, being a bear. And as you enter in, all eyes turn upon you. It's a mix of almost all kobolds, a goblin or two. In the corner of the bar, you notice an insectoid-looking creature. He appears to be inspecting a cupboard. Before you catch a glimpse of a very well-dressed man in very fine clothes. He does have a hood on him. His skin is a very fair complexion. He's got a very chiseled goatee, rings on his hands, and he makes an acknowledging glance to you, beckoning you over to the table. On the way over, you do notice at the bar there is an individual who appears much higher in stature than most of the other patrons of this bar. At the table there is it's 4 seats, but currently only he is occupying one as he beckons you over to the table. Urson, are you there?
You're on mute.
Man, I was saying some good stuff too.
Hey, you know what? That's what happens when you decide to do something like this, right? Get it out the way, my man. Urson.
I was chiming in with some good background little quips too.
Okay.
No, so Urson will approach the fine clothed man, and as he does so, he looks over at the. I guess he wants to take a further glance at the insectoid creature to see what he's doing.
Make a perception check.
Alrighty.
Let's get a roll on the table right away. 14. So through the smoke and the dim lighting in this bar, there's the rumble of chatter and beer clanking and things of that nature. But you see this insectoidish looking creature, very dark, like chitinous skin. You see him holding just random trinkets and silverware. You can't hear what he's saying, but you can see his mouth moving.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll just take a note of that and then sit down at the table with the finely dressed man.
And as you sit, I mean, he's sitting at the table, hands crossed on the table, looking very proper. You notice that he does not have any form of beverage or food of any kind. As you sit down, a female kobold walks over. Welcome to the Rat and the Roach. My name's Snarky. What can I do you for?
Good day, Noki. It's good to meet you. How about a nice pint of mead?
Well, we don't quite got mead, but we have what we call wormgutting.
You don't got mead, eh? Wormgutting? I think I'll just have a water then, mate. And then
Nope.
he just kind of like
If that's
turns away from the kobold and and turns his attention to the.
If that's your poison.
He has no intention of drinking this maggot water, whatever.
I don't know what's going to be worse, that or the water, but we'll, all right, if that's your poison. I've already asked you for this gentleman here. He just doesn't seem to want anything. So, anyway, I'll get you when I get you.
I like the cut of this one's jibbin, eh?
Greetings, my friend. You, I assume, are Urson Goreclaw.
That's me.
Well met. My name is Phineas. And that is all you need to know for the time being. So, I know the details of my letter were vague, but your commitment is shown. We have
Well, of course it is. I'm the best dancing bear guide in this entire region. Best out the Bornine.
Your reputation does precede you. We have a contacts throughout the Northlands. You came recommended by a bear folk in that area named Kunchaka. Spoke highly of you. Said you would be
Oh, yes.
up to the task. Now,
Good lad, that Kunchaka.
we'll put the details here on the table. My employer has we'll call him a son. This son has many delusions of grandeur. Can be erratic, but nevertheless, he seems very, very interested in the Scarlet Citadel. Have you heard of such a place?
Indeed I have. What business does he have there?
Well, he seeks treasure, fame. Oftentimes talks about exploring it, possibly vanquishing whatever evil lies inside. Regardless, we think of it more of nothing than a fanciful quest of a youth. Bored of his life, maybe wanting to see the world. Regardless, his parents would like to allow him this opportunity to entertain this delight of fancy. We are offering compensation to guide him there up front, and in a stroke of luck of the gods, you survive, a gracious payment will be made upon his safe return.
Saying this little bloke needs a guide then, some muscle, eh?
Well, one does not simply venture down into the Scarlet Citadel by themselves and come out alive. Very few folk have ever even returned from the Scarlet Citadel. But when a young man has his mind set on something, my employers are keen to allow him this opportunity to chase his, and he says this with a clear disrespect of the word, his destiny.
Well, you haven't named a price yet, eh? But I would like to meet this bloke before I go down in some fool dungeon.
Oh, you shall.
Trying to-
You shall in time. But
Very well.
we have to know whether you're before you meet the child, the young man. We have to know your commitment. We will offer you now, upon agreement, 200 gold. Now, upon completion and safe return, well, you can keep, obviously, whatever treasure you find, and, well, I imagine my employer would pay almost any price should he return.
Now, that's a hefty sum for a dancing bear guy like me. Now, I suppose I don't really want to go down and on some full mission, murdering myself, eh? So, I need to know you a bit better. Let me ask you a question there, mate. What do you think of bees?
Bees. Well, I can't.
Yes, bees.
Well, I do quite enjoy their honey. We don't.
You don't think
we
they're
don't-
nasty little insects out to try to poke us and try to pester us and try to annoy us, do you?
Well, from my understanding, they are very colonial. Or that's not the right word. I misspoke. A very
Watch yourself.
not colonial. They form elaborate colonies. They work towards a greater goal to produce a good and care for the young. Simple, purpose-driven. I have respect for an insect or beast that can accomplish so much with such a short lifespan. The dedication to their colony is and their hive is impressive.
You know what? I've heard enough. Let's just meet this little guy. I like you. I like you. You like bees?
You shall.
Do you like bees? You're gonna give me some money. Let's meet this little guy and see what sort of business we can get into. All right?
And you shall, in time.
Very
Now,
well.
we do not mean this as a disrespect for your talents, but we have also employed one other agent.
That's just fine by me. More the merrier.
To which, at this point, he motions over to the hooded woman sitting at the bar, who would be Alosha, to come over and join at the table.
Yes. Yeah, I'll stand up. You see Alosha, who is probably about 5'6", very like polished alabaster skin, with like brown eyes and deep red hair underneath her hood. Kind of gently moves over to your guys' table. Hello. Kind of look back and forth between them.
This and
Good day there. Who are you?
Oh, hello. Name is Alosha. I'm gonna hold my hand out for a handshake.
Urson's gonna hold out a single clawed bear finger.
All right, very gently hold like the tip of the finger and try to wiggle it back up and down.
It's nice to meet you, Alosha.
Pleasure.
And Phineas,
I'm gonna sit down.
is not going to interrupt any of this. Is just going to chime in that um, we seek talent of all kind. We brought in someone who could consult on some of the more arcane matters, handle some of the things that brute force simply could not handle. Alosha, we brought Urson in to handle some of the more, how do I say this? I do not mean to offend a bear, but some of the more simple problems that might need to be solved. Now, the same offer is to you as well. There will be a payment of 200 gold now. We will provide you each with 2 healing potions each. I suggest possibly using some of that money to possibly recruit. Legend has it that the Scarlet Citadel can be quite a deadly place. Consider this investment. Our hope that you will succeed and return the child to his parents intact so he can bring some form of glory to their house. And at this point, Snonky, the kobold, has brought back a cup of water. It's dark. It's in a small clay cup. It is kobold size. So looks even smaller in your massive bare hand, or next to your massive bare hands. Urson.
Oh, Will. How about a spot of tea then, eh? Might want to get this thing, I don't know, purified some sort. Can you send that back there, love?
Yeah, we can probably do that. We have a cast iron kettle. We can just put the water in that for a little while. We kind of cook some soups and stuff in there, but we just ran out. So maybe it'll taste like a little bit of rat, but what's the rat and the roach? What do you expect?
What are you waiting for?
Oh, yeah. Okay, since I brought you the water was gonna be on the house, but the tea's gonna run you 5 copper.
It's fine. Here you go. Good gravy. Whatever can get out of this place. Now, Lucia, what brings you to this part of town? Why? Now, I'm here for the money to bring glory. I feel like I'm like-minded with this tiny little bugger that we haven't met yet. What brings you to the Scarlet Citadel and wants to explore it?
Well, I'm just looking for an adventure to explore deeper, find arcane knowledge if it's possible. I understand that it's built upon a ley line. Is that correct? I'm going to look over to
Phineas.
our friend. Yeah, Phineas.
Well, my knowledge of the arcane workings of this area of the land are limited, but it has been said and rumored that yes, there is a very powerful ley line, either on or under it.
And that's what I'm here for. And extra money.
Eh?
I just like look at him and nod. Like,
Sorry, it was a bit of slip of the tongue there, mate.
It's no problem. But yes, money would also be appreciated while we're there.
Well, if you are amenable to our offer, it's 200 gold each up front. And he pulls out 2 pouches of gold for each of you, and then a individual sack that would contain 4 regular healing potions. A bag roughly big enough to do that as well. If you are amenable to that, I will take my leave. The young prince does not necessarily want me to be involved anymore in his dealings, I will leave you the key to his room. And he points you in the direction of a room off up into the corner. It's a 2-story building. In here, the roof is maybe 20 feet tall in the main hall, so they can accommodate some of the other races other than kobolds. Looking around, it is mostly kobolds and goblins for the most part. You don't see any other humans. You see an orc or two, but they do have other-sized rooms as well.
No other bears then,
No bear folk. No dwarves, no elves. None of the other more like exotic races like Dhampir or Ghoul or mushroom folk. Yes, I also get the.
You already,
No, go
have
ahead.
you already mentioned? What I guess race Finny is or lineage. I don't know if it matters or not, but can I tell once I get close to him?
Make a perception check. His hood is still
Cool.
up.
Yeah, I thought he might be trying to like hide it.
That's a goblin.
I mean, he is equally as tall as about Alosha. He stands sitting down, and if you had to eye him up, about making a guesstimate on his height, you'd say he's about 5'8", 5'9".
He's a beholder.
He's he's got very pale skin. As the look of someone who maybe hasn't seen a lot of sunlight. His features are very fair, but you cannot determine. You can see his face, but you get nothing else other than that. He's got very elaborate clothing on, though. Like, he's got a cloak with a hood, but his sleeves are very puffy, and they got different color stripes of whites and purple. Fine stitching to where the shoulder meets the chest piece. It's very elaborate. He is dressed well above the station of anybody else in this bar.
Good to know. All right. Well, Urson is going to look over at Alosha and say, "All right then. Well, I guess we should be off then, right? Try to find someone else, or at least this little bugger who's employing us, right?"
Yes. Crunch is in
Crunch.
Crunch is in the room. If you are agreeing to be his guide,
I believe we are.
At this point, I believe that our business is concluded. I wish you sincerely the best of luck, and I hope to see you one day again.
It is a pleasure.
Will take my leave. This place does not quite suit me very well. I feel many eyes upon me. Here is the key to his room. Just go ahead. He knows. He's expecting company.
Thank you.
The door is locked, but go ahead and use the key and enter. In that, he gives you as he stands up, a polite acknowledging gesture as he leaves the table, ducking out of the bar, and unless anybody has any more questions before him.
I don't know. For him, no.
No, I'm good.
All right, and he will take his leave. He did point you in the direction of the room. It is in the top left corner. There is a staircase inside the bar. It's give or take. Time of day. It is later into the evening. It is already dark outside. There is some general lighting of the city as well, just for description of the outside. Inside the bar, there's about 8 or 10 people, kobolds mostly. Like I said, 2 goblins and 1 orc, not including the staff, which was Snonsky, and there is another kobold back cooking. Its name is Grindamush.
Urson, do you know anyone that we could hire? I mean, out of
Um,
these, as I look around,
Not likely, to be honest with you. I think we should probably meet this bloke who's giving us all this money, right?
Conch first.
Koch.
I believe that's what he said his name was. Yes, I'm gonna scoot my chair out and stand up. Um,
And
Up there, right?
Urson let Alosha take the key, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
His claws are way too big to manipulate something like
Yeah, I'll take the key. Actually, because it's cool, I'll hold my hand out and the key will teleport into my hand.
There we go.
that. Whoa!
So yeah,
Look
You
over.
really
Huh?
do know this magic thing, eh?
Oh, yes. Sorry, it just happened second nature to me now. Yes.
so describe how that looks. Does that key like, Mjolnir back to your hand, or does it apparate like right into your
It
hand?
apparates. It kind of sucks into itself and reappears in my hand. Like it kind of thing.
Wow,
Awesome.
I never seen something like that before.
Right. I'm sorry. It's just basically
No, don't
picking something up.
apologize. It's awesome.
Thank you. I'm sure you do other. And I look you up and down. Awesome things too.
Yes, you wouldn't want to know what I put inside this belly of mine. Let's go meet this guy,
I
right?
want to turn on my heel.
Not humans,
right.
though.
Don't. Oh, you mean you eat humans? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
How about orcs?
my stomach is somewhat of a pigsty, for lack of a better way to put it. I put lots of gross stuff inside my mouth and I ate it. It's not something I like to, I guess, tell people up front, but I don't know why I'm telling you. I suppose I'm
I
trying to.
have.
I don't
have
know.
that. I have that
suppose
about me.
I'm a little bit off put. I've never really hung out with magic users before, like yourself.
It's it's no big deal. I have that way about me. People would like to open up.
All right. Well, if you ever want to see me eat anything, just let me know.
Okay, I will
Pretty
let you know
sweet,
that.
I promise. Almost as cool as that cool magic trick you just did there.
How about if we get out of here? I'll buy you as much as you can eat, and we'll watch see if you can eat all of it.
Sounds just fine. Let's go meet this crunch fella.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'll kind of lead the way up the staircase, up to the door he described to us.
Sure. As you make your way through, Alosha especially, you do notice that you are catching more eyes, even than Urson. Humans, for the most part, do not venture in to the Kobold Ghetto. Humans, elves, and dwarves. Most dwarves, especially because of their past aggressions towards kobolds. Humans, likewise, as well. More the bestial folks are kind of given a little bit of leeway. But no one's making aggressive moves, especially in the company of Urson. And I feel like we didn't.
Yeah.
Urson, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself as you guys are walking towards the room?
Yeah, I realized I didn't do that. So yeah, Urson is a 7.5 foot tall bear. He's
Big.
enormous. He looks like he could easily just with a flick of his claw just maul you in a heartbeat. But something in his face, there's kind of like, a warmth there. Kind of, he's not a menacing, terrifying bear. I guess let's put it that way. Even though he does kind of seem sort of gruff on the outside, he does put off a vibe that's you know, once you kind of break past that exterior, it's a big, no pun intended, a big cuddly teddy bear. So that's Urson.
As you make your way up the stairs, Alosha, gently first, you're up about 4 or 5 stairs before you hear Urson step on the stairs behind you, and I mean, if wood could scream, the kobold construction is not quite what it is in Bjornheim, where it's built for bear folk, but it holds. It's very very.
Yeah, these kobolds better check the foundation of this thing.
I don't think it was built for you. Does that really turn around?
It
You hear the creaking.
Very fair point.
It's a combination of the builders of this place being kobolds building their specifications, and also just the general lack of quality of material that they get to use. I mean, the kobold ghetto is night and day from the city of Zobek. It is slums, almost sort of like if you've ever seen like what a favela looks like in some of the South American countries, like where a capital city will be pristine, and then where citizens, through no fault of their own, don't enjoy some of the benefits, and the kobolds have not been given some of the societal benefits. But as you make your way to the room, the door is locked. Do you use the key?
I'm turning to your son. Should we knock first, or should we just enter?
It's humanoids we're talking with. I'll leave it up to you.
All right, I'm going to knock on the door. Crunch? Sir Crunch? Are you there?
As you knock, make a perception check.
Okay. Me or Crunch?
Who? You're Alosha.
Okay. Perception. Did it work? I'll click it again. Okay, 16.
Over the general commotion of that, you don't hear a voice respond, but you do hear a slight sound of wood on wood, like a rocking back and forth sound. But there is no answer.
Maybe he fell asleep on a rocking horse. It is a child? Is it a child? Does it look back over you, Urson?
I don't know. Your guess is good as mine.
All right. Well, we're coming in, and I'm going to put the key in the keyhole and turn it, and open the door.
As you enter the room, at first glance, you notice that it is about 10 by 12 room. Off, as you're opening the door, and what's catching first is there's a dresser and a window to the outside, which you can see. It's night out, and there's no drapes on the window, so you can see the lights of a house across from it. And as the door fully opens, in the middle of the room, there is an individual with a bag, a sack over his head, sitting in a wooden chair, bound in the middle of the room.
Is there
the bed and the dresser and everything else?
Okay, I was going to say, is there like torture stuff around the room? Okay.
No.
Just a bed. Okay, just in a chair.
There's a bed. There is a very very elaborate travel bag. The room is in complete as made up as you would imagine a kobold inn would be. The bed itself is a straw bed. It's got a loose, what could pass as a pillow, and maybe a sheet on it. It is a single twin bed. There is a dresser with worn wood, and then a small table with very burnt down candles that would maybe last another hour or so if you tried to light them. It has the similar smell of rotten meat and refuse like the rest of the bar, and pretty much all of the Kobold Ghetto has. It's a very pervasive smell that really, especially you, Urson, with your your bare nose, it really hits you. But
I sniff at.
it took you an hour or so to get through the ghetto, so the smell has become less intrusive at this point. But
Yeah, I've grown accustomed to it, I suppose. Now, what does this bloke in front of me look like? Is he awake? Does he's blindfolded or gagged?
He has a bag on his head, I think.
Oh, bag on his head. That's right.
What you can see currently is a slender man. Or well, you can't really determine gender. You can see a slender humanoid figure. Uh, the lighting's not great in here, but you can tell that his skin is a little more pale than even maybe yours, Alosha. You don't see any visible injuries to him. His clothes are not ripped. There's no blood on the floor. Nothing of that nature.
All right. Well, Urson's just gonna take the bag right off his head.
As you take the
I'll
bag
stand and
off,
roll it.
yeah, as you take the bag off, you do notice that this man is bound and gagged.
I'll, I'll try to remove the gag then.
And as you do so,
Be careful.
Crunch, why don't you go?
Don't worry about me. I'm a big old bear.
Crunch, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself?
All right, so I am a Darrow, which is a creepy little purplish group of folks. I am in my early 20s, and I am a little bit jumpy, relatively slender, and in some pretty sweet clothes, I would say. Looking maybe a little too fresh for the rat and the roaches.
Yeah, and his clothes are in a similar style to Phineas's. Very elaborate, very well made. There's no the stitching is very clean, very colorful. If not just a little like it's not bright and vibrant, but there is a good mix of color. They are.
Is it
muted.
is it clear like that they're from like the same? Can you tell that the clothes are from the same like people? I guess
It
for
would
lack of
be
a better way of
culture.
putting it.
yes.
Yeah.
It would be reasonable to assume
Okay. Cool. Perfect.
they would be of. You could almost even tell that these are of a similar make and style. A very regional thing, neither of which either of you have ever seen before.
All right. Now another
It's
question:
fancy.
is the person in front of me awake?
Yes, Crunch is awake.
All right. Well, then Edison's gonna try to take out the gag there.
Crunch, how do you react to the as the hood is pulled off? You have standing before you two individuals, both of which you've never seen before in your life, nor have you pretty much seen anybody who resembles either of these two. You have a very vibrant-haired young lady, fire red hair, soft features on her face, and then flanking her, just an enormous, giant bear folk with a very gentle-looking face, but still
Yeah, I have these kind-looking eyes inside my head, eh? And I'm gonna look down. And I'm gonna say, hey, I'm not gonna hurt you there. We've been hired to help you out, and that's what I'm gonna say is because I realize now he's probably gonna be pretty startled seeing us both there. Myself being a giant bear.
All right. So Crunch, seeing this, uh, tenses up quite a bit. Tentatively reaches out each of his little arms, and
well, have they unbound your hand yet? I know they said they removed the gag.
that's a good point. Good point. What?
Suppose I explain what I just said as I'm doing the gag. I'm doing the gag and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to bite you there, mate. We're here to help."
Uh, are excuse this question. You are real?
Yes, we are.
You
Are
wouldn't
you?
say so. Yes. Well, I we've gotten off on quite an existential. If you could perhaps continue to free me, uh, maybe we can continue our discourse.
Now, before I go ahead and do that, there, you're going to have to explain something to me. Um, we're here on behalf of I'm guessing one of your mates, Phineas. Do you know this man?
Oh, you all are the you're my present from Mumsy and Daddy. Yes.
My mouth is gonna open like I'm gonna say something, and I'm just gonna stop. Like what?
Yeah, Erson's going to look over at at Alosha and just
So
go
I'm like, oh.
all right. You know, a present, I suppose, is one way to look at it. Um, you know, we were hired here because we were told that you want to go down into that Radiant Citadel.
Yes, from
Close.
it's well no now it's a different citadel. This one is red. It's reddish. You
Scarlet.
yes, you've
Oh,
heard.
jeez.
Also not in space.
Yeah.
Now,
Man, my bad.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
now
a-
what
Fucking-
once again,
Fucking Star Wars. All right.
if you don't mind, if my hands are freed, I'd like to simply reach out and give each one of you just a little tap on the arm there. Little tap over here. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. So far so good. So you are the presents from Mumsy and Daddy. Well, that's lovely. If you can just grab my things, they're in the corner, and we can be off in a tick.
I'm sorry.
To the you mentioned it, to the Scarlet Citadel. It's the present I'm getting from Mumsy and Daddy. Come along now.
I was gonna look at Urson. Like what?
Now, now let's get one thing straight here, mate. You need to bring your own belongings, all right? I understand I'm a giant bear, but we just met. I'm not going to be carrying along your belongings everywhere you go here. I'm not going to be treated like some sort of servant, I suppose.
Well,
We in this together.
that's not what a servant would say, and Mumsy and Daddy would only send servants for a present. And at this,
Mm.
I begin to wave my hands in a magical manner, and I cast a charm at this heretofore unnamed bear servant.
I mean, make spell a save. What is it? Is it?
Yeah, what is it? What's the spell?
It's a wisdom save.
14.
Yeah,
Yeah, what is it?
wisdom.
Oh, wisdom.
I don't
Okay.
believe that it actually says it though, does it?
It doesn't.
No,
No,
This
but
is absolutely a wisdom save.
yeah, it's charm person though.
that's all right. I mean, wisdom's about as
I mean, you'll just protect them.
Yeah,
I said. So Urson, with his big clawed fist, kind of strokes his bare chin and kind of surveys the situation and
I'm just
recalls his
watching.
experience. Yeah, and recalls his experience as a dancing bear guide and having to deal with extremely, I don't know, difficult and ritzy clientele, I suppose. And so
pushy.
he's just gonna go along with it and say, "All right, then I'll bring one of your bags. Which one you want?"
Oh, no, I don't make these decisions. I have much more important things to consider. My goodness, what sort of I should call you Well, what do you call him? Other one.
Well, my name's Alosha. His name is Urson.
I see. All right. Well, I don't see that coming
I
up again.
suppose we didn't introduce ourselves properly.
Well, no. You broke into the room and unbound me.
And
with
freed you.
I'm gonna just shake the key in my hand, back and forth.
Well, that's semantic. That's all right. Mommy and Daddy are always setting up little pranks like this. It's like them. They're tricksy folks. So I see you are some sort of bear servant, and you
That's right.
you're a human.
Just a follower. Yes.
Human, and that's all the way, just straight through, up and down.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, then you won't be any trouble. All right. Well, then.
Just kind of cock my head, like, okay.
So Urson, do you prefer Urson or bear servant?
You may call me Urson, although I'm also known as Goreclaw, which should tip you off a little bit there, mate. You may want to treat me with a little bit of respect.
Oh, what a delightful and ribald moniker, Goreclaw. That's delightful. All right, Goreclaw.
I feel like we need to elaborate maybe upon the latter part of while you're charmed this way, you won't tolerate any harm, abuse, or mistreatment directed toward the spell's target.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not. I feel like we're
yeah, that's what I was saying.
we're about to tread the line about whether or not this spell is going to break.
Urson is clearly. I enjoy him. I see how kind his eyes are. I would never think of harming him, but I am going.
Best impressions are important.
But that's. See, and it's that sort of diplomacy that will guarantee that Urson gets no harm. Crotch Golden.
You're charmed by the target too.
Yes, it's a spell of love.
That's funny.
Like a mutual charm spell.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
And it lasts for.
Just like we're enraptured with each other. But I don't know. It seems like we both really don't want to be the way we're role playing.
While this initial meet and greet and immediate lovers quarrel is going on, I need each one of you to make a perception check.
Okay.
The three of you.
Oh,
Deception.
Crotch, how are you with perception?
Good old 8.
Well, in any event, Urson's just going to pick up whatever damn fool bag he sees, and just whenever we leave, that's what he's going to do.
Crunch, you do hear the sound of the cups in this establishment are made of clay. So it still has a break of like if you broke a terracotta pot. You hear some breaking and voices raising outside of the room. They are all pretty distinctly of the same vocal pattern and same dialect.
Now, isn't that curious? Servants, perhaps we should go and investigate. Goreclaw, Upsy. I clap my hands.
Urson looks down at his legs and notices he's already standing on them.
Oh, all right. Perhaps Crunch would like a piggyback ride, please.
How tall is this little purple fella?
I stand a proud 3 feet.
It's I like the sentiment, but perhaps you can just kind of grasp around my ankle, and I can kind of like kick you around like a little toddler or something.
Well, the Crunch does want Upsy.
I'm sorry. You say you want Upsy? That's as best we're gonna do that.
And now it's to the point where the vocalization outside of the room is growing louder.
Yeah, Edison's just gonna leave. He doesn't want to deal with this little pepper guy who wants to ride on top of him.
Well, also, Crunch, you have to, Urson, even to get in and out of the room, you do have to duck quite a bit, being as large in stature as you are. So that cause complexities getting out the door.
Well, all right, that's fine. I can see that there are some physical difficulties. Elosha, was it Elosha? Was that your little name, Elosha?
Yep, that's my name.
Crunch want Upsy?
I'm no. Look at you.
You
Well,
see
this-
that there's a look of disdain, a little bit. As that is
Read
not
the room there, mate. You're not getting the ride no.
Well, this. I thought this was going to be a fun present from Mumsy and Daddy, but it sounds like everyone's fighting outside, so I suppose we should go and see what the trouble is. And Urson, I see that you have my bags, so thank you for that, bear servant. And I am going to whip my cloak around. I'm wearing a cloak. Obviously, I'm wearing a cloak.
Obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna whip my cloak around and sort of regally sort of scuttle in between you two to go.
Make
I'm
a
just gonna step aside.
make a performance check.
Okay, all right. Unexpected. This is a performance. It is. Perform.
Elaborate cloak whipping, natural 20.
Obviously.
That's
Nailed
a
it.
24 cloak whip.
I mean, as a person who was bound and gagged and just with an immense amount of panache and style, and you just hear it like like when you snap a towel and you get it just right, the edge of the cloak, whoosh, and with a little heel click too. And he makes Crunch, you're the first one out of the room.
Yeah, I think it actually his cloak snaps in Edison's face, and Edison leans over to Elotion and says, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Well, he's 3 feet tall, so it might not be in your face.
Yeah, well,
Unless you're
On your
how
chin.
about I rub my knee? It just like just snap my knee real quick.
yeah, it's stung a little bit, even through the bear fur. Surprisingly,
Yeah,
I'm
you
who
gonna
is
turn and
this
be like,
guy?
you used to be an
I
adventurer,
don't know, but
and then you took a
You-
cloak. You took a cloak to the knee.
I took a
Alright.
cloak snap like
it's
a
a really
tail whip.
nasty paper cut. Got you.
Ouch!
Our allocated
I-
one.
Big old
Oh,
barbarian. Can't
I
even
have no
take a
idea what this
cloak.
is, but we need to keep him alive.
I hope I didn't get you there. Now come along, bear servant, human woman.
Hmm.
Off we go.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
marching order.
I mean, it sounds like Crunch's first.
Yeah, Crunch is first.
Crunch is not there.
Crunch,
For sure.
as you're first out the door, you see creatures which you're not necessarily familiar with. Small creatures, roughly the same size as you. They appear to you, from what you would perceive as small dragons, without wings. Many of them have an individual who you've never seen this species before in your life, backed into a corner. And at this point, and sorry for the delay, but Zadok, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself?
You see a tall, like almost 7 foot, like xenomorph, almost alien-like thing. He's wearing basically like almost a potato sack of clothing. He has a large pestle that he carries around along with a very ragged book, and he's seeing these little dragon things in his face and asking them, do you know grandmother? Where's grandmother? Why are you poking me with the forks? Those hurts. Stop.
Yeah, and you see
Help.
these ones throwing some of the cups. You hear chuckling and laughing, like he talks to the furniture.
Hey, did you? This is probably a former person that maybe no grandmother. Stop it. And I'm going to cast mage armor on myself and cuddle into a corner a little bit and kind of hide down while the cops hit me.
I mean, make a stealth check as best you can in the middle of the thing.
It's not a no, it's
Go
not a
ahead.
hide check.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's literally just I'm just casting
So as you
Like-
see, as you walk out,
triangulating.
all three of you now have seen. There is this unfamiliar creature being assaulted for being slightly different in this bar. How do you respond?
I Crunch will run up to the nearest one and begin to bite feverishly on his forearm.
To the nearest kobold?
Yep.
Okay, so the room.
No, criminy.
All right. As you run down the stairs, to the first one, it's about the same size as you. Just roll a d20.
Sure. And I want to make clear, like a wild rabid dog.
Yeah, I mean it's plus your it's an unarmed strike which you don't have proficiency in, so
Hey man, I got you. I'm just trying to paint
Yeah.
a picture.
I mean as you try to okay, so Alosha and
I'm still leaning over the railing watching it.
okay, Urson, what are you doing?
I mean, we've already been paid, right? We have our 400 gold.
You each have 200.
Yep. So we're paid men. I guess I'm going to follow Crunch and I suppose try to remove him from the situation. Like two fighting dogs, you try to separate them. You're not trying to hurt anyone, but you're just trying to separate them without getting bit yourself.
Yeah, so Crunch, I mean, you run down, you attempt to do that. You're immediately shoved off as you just swing wildly. Maybe it's just the getting your legs back under you. Urson, roll a strength check or athletics to see how well you
Gladly.
can separate
I'm
these
gonna-
two kobolds.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
the
lean, put
kobold.
my hands together, and is there any like if there's an open like just drink like water or something? I'm gonna just hold my hand out and just
Mhm.
summon it to my hand and start drinking it while looking over the edge.
Where's my
Drinking the
athletics?
water?
Yeah, well, if there's any like okay looking water,
Oh,
if not,
you
it's fine. No, I won't do that.
summon one and you bring it
Ugh.
to your mouth, but you are immediate. I mean, as soon as you get close enough
Yeah.
for it to hit your nostrils, you realize
Smell.
that this is just it's basically puddle water from the outside of, and it's dirt
Okay.
and it's
I'm gonna
nasty.
nonchalantly just drop it.
Yeah. Urson, you're able to separate the two of them. There still is the general like pack mentality of the bar assaulting this individual in the corner.
All right.
They're not doing
Go ahead.
anything more than like you would think of like pelting Cersei when she walked through the town. Like they're not physically doing that at the moment, but they are throwing cups and food. No one's attempted to like actually inflict lethal harm on this individual.
All right. Well, I suppose that Urson normally wouldn't get himself in the middle of a situation like this, but now that he is going to, I guess, wade over through these kobolds and try to, I suppose, try to remove the closest kobold who's trying to assault this creature who I've never seen before in my life.
Make an intimidation check.
All right.
Natural 20.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a bear.
you put yourself in between all of these, and like a parent separating fighting toddlers, you get
Exactly.
your biggest, deepest Aussie growl bear voice, uh, and you're able to get them to back off. A, because of your size, and B, just the pure intimidation factor. I mean, you dwarf these guys. I mean, they come up to like maybe your thigh.
Yeah, I'll walk up to him and say, "Hey, what's going on here? Then, are you all right there, mate?" And he'll look over right at the dog.
Zadok, are you all right?
Maybe. I'm ripping pieces of my cloak up right now and trying. You see the start of a spell being cast, and then when Big Bear Man come over, it backs it down. You see, like there's like a void energy from this pieces of his cloak that he's been ripping off that kind of subsides. Like he was about to cast something, and uh, thank you, big one. They don't like me. I know some
Yeah, I
weird.
don't suppose these kobolds. I don't suppose they like anyone around here.
Well, I was trying to talk the chair that someone was sitting in. Apparently, that's not polite. Are you? Are you a friend? Are you a nice? Are you going to kill me?
Well, I wouldn't have stopped them from trying to pelt you with rocks unless I was trying to help you out there, mate. You look a little bit down in your look. I don't really like the way that you're ripping
Yes.
up your clothes there. I'd rather you keep them on. Why don't you come along with us?
You keep the little tiny ones. You keep the little tiny ones from scratching and throwing cups at me, right? I can probably.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. If you're worried about cups being thrown at you, mate, you nothing to worry about. Look at these little guys; they're not going to do nothing to me.
yes, yes.
And if you're with me, they're not going to do nothing to you.
Yes, you're a thick one. And you would notice at this point that like I almost stand the same height as Urson, but I'm
Oh,
about a quarter of the build. Like I'm tall and spindly. I'm about 6'10", but maybe 100 pounds. Like, and with the uh insectoid lampreyish build, you see that it's a chitinous body type. Probably not anything that Urson has seen, I would imagine, but I'm definitely out of place, I think, by the fact that I was just pelted by a bunch of kobolds who I'm going to kill them.
Yeah, everybody make a perception.
I'm envisioning like a Zorak type.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Yeah.
that's more of like the Thri-kreen a little bit, but yeah, they're I mean, I don't know if you've seen the art for them, but like Zadok, give a full like description of what your race looks like.
Uh, Typically, they're a bipedal, very thin race. Think dragonborn, but not muscular, but with a more alien's xenomorphic lamprey head structure. Um, Tall, gangly, chitinous skin, big eyes, sharp teeth, long, overly elongated necks, very spiny tails, sharp features, very
And
weird.
for anybody who happens to be watching this at some point in time, I have put a picture of it on the screen to show what the Satare look like. But continue.
Yes, but Zadok is barely dressed. It is a. It's probably a former sack of potatoes, with some like just scraps of clothing. Doesn't look like they've have any sort of material means. They look like a vagrant.
All right, and so while Urson and Zadok are conversing, Alosha,
Hmm?
and with your advantage point from where you're at, make a perception check.
I did. It rolled an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you see this conversation happening
Mhm.
with an 8.
Yeah.
Crunch, even better, with a 3. Yeah, I mean, you were still, getting up from being separated by that. Um, but behind you, uh, the kobolds have sort of reformed.
Uh-oh.
As you turn around, there is a larger kobold than what you have previously seen,
Kobold stack.
and a smaller, two smaller kobolds. They have carried out a box behind you, and have been poking it with sticks. As they open the box, a small black and white creature runs out, immediately turns its backside to the party, and lifts its tail. I need everyone to make a deception or a dexterity check.
Deception check.
Deception. I misspoke.
It's not
I'm
us.
going to roll the deception check on this.
Yes, you are correct. As a skunk, it has turned its backside toward all of you.
All right. Jeff, do I roll 2 from above or?
Oh no, you're fine.
Okay, I was just sure. Okay.
Crunch. I mean, I said deception. We're gonna add your and that's your strong suit. So you're gonna have to own that one.
I love it. Fine.
I imagine you're proficient in deception
Oh yeah.
with a
I'm
6,
Yeah.
and you still got a nat 1. So
Absolutely.
you gotta.
The roll 20 is the roll 20, I feel like, right? I don't know. Maybe that's a bad one.
What was it? What did you say?
Oh, I was just saying, like, when you roll the D20, it's the D20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I misspoke, but that he's still proficient in that and still got a nat 1. Like, um, yeah, Alosha, you see this skunk lift its tail, and maybe appropriately, Urson, you're able to definitely get out of the way. Zadok and Crunch, you are hit with this just an overwhelming just smell of must and just pure putridness. Make a Constitution saving throw. All right. Zadok,
Solid.
are you resistant in any way to poison of any kind?
No.
All right.
No, I am not.
This number will be halved for both of you. You are each poisoned for the next 1 hour. And for the next day, you smell like you were sprayed by a skunk unless you have a means of getting that off. As this skunk,
I heard they smelled like that.
well,
I'm
you smell even worse. I mean, and then the kobolds are. I mean, honestly, it probably didn't change the smell too much in the bar, but if you make it out of here, you're still going to smell like a skunk unless you have means of removing that.
If we make it out of here.
The kobolds now are just laughing their asses off at both Crunch and Zadok.
Can I?
Alosha's gonna semi-giggle to herself, but then remember that I have to be with these people for the next while. I'm like,
I'm going to use my carrier fraud ability and the skunk for spraying me.
You're going to do what? Click on it so we can. Okay. Carrier of Rot. To use your action to inflict rot on a creature you see. The creature makes a Constitution saving throw. Okay, I don't know what a skunk has. We're just going to give it a 0. I imagine a skunk might have like a minus
it
1,
needs
maybe.
it needs to be the 14.
or whatever a badger has.
Yeah,
That's not. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. A badger has way more than that. But yeah, natural. 4. It's gonna take 1d4 necrotic. Go ahead and roll that. And as you do that, like instinctively, what does that look like? Is it just like describe what that looks like?
Much like it's fuckery butthole at us and probably spraying from the thing with the up tails. I just open my mouth. You see just a swarm of like ash come and just rip it and just start to pull its flesh apart.
Yeah,
and then suck it back inside me.
And the laughter of these kobolds has subsided tremendously as their pet has fallen to the floor. You see them almost instinctively start to grab any piece of silverware that they can, and they are now encroaching upon all of you. Alosha, from your point of view, you can see that there is a clear path that everybody could make it to the door with a dash. The rest of them just are all focused on the kobolds. What do you want to do?
I am going to quickly. How far is that path? Like, how far is it from the banister down?
Oh, I mean, you're at the top of the flight of stairs. It was at the room was at the top of the flight of stairs, so like you're
Why
like.
did you do that?
And it's only like about a 10-foot set of stairs, so maybe like 10 to 12 steps. For D&D movement speed, 10 feet of movement for you.
Okay. To
get around it and down, and the bar itself is not a very big bar. It's kobold size for the most part, so to get to the door from where you're at would be your full movement for that. But I mean, we're not in combat or anything.
Yeah. I was just wondering because I'm gonna do something. It's like a certain amount of distance from me. I can do it.
Yeah, I mean the whole dimensions of this bar for where you're at, there's more space behind you than you're currently occupying to the door.
No problem. I am going to see what's happening and not wanting any kind of fighting going on here. I am going to disappear from a mat and reappear in between everyone, between them and our friends. I'm like, hey guys, we need to get out of here. I'm going to point towards the door and begin running towards the door.
All right, and what is everybody else doing? Start with, we'll just go with Crunch. What are you doing?
Crunch would like to pet the skunk.
Skunk is dead and is covered in like festering necrotic boils from the ash cloud.
Crunch is undeterred.
Yeah.
Crunch is going to pet the festering dead skunk.
All right, Urson, what are you doing?
There is no skunk. It's in my mouth now.
How is it in your mouth now?
The
absorbed it.
necrotic damage that killed it. It's dead, right? The skunk is dead.
Yes.
The necrotic energy of Carrier of Rot turned that into ash.
Oh, it turns it into ash. Okay. So then there is just an ashy pile of skunk bits falling out of Zadok's mouth. There is no skunk.
That Crunch is gently petting.
There is no skunk.
Yes.
I just wants to make that clear that it is now in my belly.
He ate it. He like sucked in the ash into his mouth.
No, I understand.
Oh, okay.
Crunch is petting the bits of ash that are falling from this unknown creature's mouth.
Okay.
They are on the ground.
Okay. Just didn't want you to
All right,
waste
Urson, what are
an
you doing?
action.
Well, I suppose Urson is following Alosha's lead. She seems to be the one person who seems to have her head screwed on the tightest out of all of us. So he is. But although I think Urson, I don't know where I'm located, situated in this room.
You guys are at the base of the stairs, and looking out onto a. From your perception, the bar is longer than it is wide. There is a bar to your right, and then there is about 30 feet worth of sitting area, and then the kobolds have all backed off a little bit. They're probably about 15, 20 feet away from you, intermixed between the tables and the chairs. Shinonsky and what did I say his name was? The chef, Gerfenstad, are minding their own business. These are just the two goblins and the orcs are just sitting back, waiting for shit to happen, and just hopefully going to pick up the pieces of some loot of whoever's left. But these kobolds have all gone and grabbed forks and knives off of the tables. One of them has broken a plate and smashed it. He's ready to fight.
When I also ran towards the door, can I grab a cup?
Talk about hospitality.
Yeah, with your little teleportability, you have teleported one of the clay cups into your hand.
Okay.
This is way more exciting music than I thought it was going to be.
It is.
I know. I feel like Urson's adrenaline is pumping.
You have
No, but Urson.
Kobolds, the ones, especially the one larger one and the two smaller ones, seeing their pet skunk disintegrated. They're out for blood.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I suppose I'm going to, as the largest person in the room, insert myself in between Zadok and these angry kobolds, and to try to appease the situation, or at least buy everyone else some time.
All right, Zadok, what are you doing?
They're
This
still
music.
They're still all aggressively holding cutlery and things like that. So I'm going to take a few pieces of strands of my cloak and I'm going to rip them up into pieces, and then you see the ribbons of the things that I've been ripping up turn into black ribbons, and I'm going to cast black ribbons on the kobold. And they need to make a dex save of 14 or be restrained.
Okay, let me grab some kobolds here real quick.
Yeah, well, I get it. Ripping up your clothes is part of your whole gig.
You would have noticed that his clothing was basically a potato sack, remember?
No, I do, but
yeah, okay. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough already, yeah. But yes, I cast black ribbons. And I would step forward if it means not getting the big bear person there, because he's been nice to me so far. So
Okay, so as you cast your spell, describe what your your spell looks like. What did you? Hold on, I gotta scroll back down for what you guys. So you cast Black Ribbons. You pull pieces of the Shadow Realm into your own reality, causing a 20-foot cube to fill with inky ribbons into an area that turn the area into difficult terrain and wrap nearby creatures. Any creature that ends its turn in the area becomes restrained by the Shadow Ribbons until the end of its next turn, unless it makes a successful Dexterity saving throw. Okay. So go ahead and just mark that on the map, where that would be. Those kobolds are where you see them now. And for anybody who's listening or watching, since we're using a new Kobold Press, most people may not be familiar with it. We'll try and give details on these new spells and abilities that you may hear the players use.
It's that's
Tad
not
too
right.
big.
Tad too big.
That's
Just delete it and then just scrunch it up one. I mean,
yeah, I can if it'll select it.
There you go. Gotcha.
yeah. So you could get if you
Yeah.
well, if you shifted it, you could get the other one though too. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
No, I can't. Yeah, I'll get those two. So the black ash that they take from the skunk, I vomits it out of my mouth onto the pieces of the cloth that I've been tearing, and then it lashes out at them.
20 and a 10. We're gonna mark this gentleman here, the bottom one. So what is he? He is
Nothing.
nothing. Okay. Well, they've preemptively made their saves first. All right. So when that happens, we do need to roll initiative. As you cast that spell, and now combat, we will say, is going to take place.
I can't select my token.
You can.
I couldn't either, so I made
No.
one.
No, I can't because you dragged us onto a map.
I did. Yes, because of the darkness.
Yeah, just delete our tokens. I know where I'm at. I'll just
delete.
I was fine.
Oh, you were fine. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm back.
Yep. You're
delete me, and I know right where I'm at. I can see it.
I'm deleting the non-dancing bear.
Hey.
Same with you, Crunch. Go ahead and drag yourself back out, and then let's roll some initiative.
Man, they rolled really well.
Well, the first roll isn't going to take. Well, those are some spicy rolls. I mean, these are all really good rolls for initiative. That is not my strong suit, as you guys know.
10.
It's a new campaign, my dude.
That is a lot of kobolds up at the top. These kobolds have been doing their bench presses.
Right.
Do we got everybody on initiative order? I see Urson. I see.
No, you just rolled really well. Yeah.
I see Zadok.
We're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't see anybody's name but Alosha.
I set my token up on the when I double click it. I put my name as Alosha. That may have been
Okay,
it.
yeah, I
don't know.
can do that on my end. I know how to do that. All right. All right.
I
So
will
that
do
brings
that
us
myself.
to Kobold number one. Kobold number one. As you see him, he's got his fork in his hand, and he is going to move around the table. He's going to hop up on this table and make a jump to try and stab you. We'll say that this is going to count. A fork is going to just be the same as a dagger. To you, Urson. Does a 12 hit?
Negative.
Negative. That's the okay. He jumps as you, leaps, and you kind of just bat him away, and he lands right next to you, right there on the ground.
You impossibly the hitman. How's your AC so high?
Oh, we in for a bit of rough and tumble, eh?
Nope, I did not get this gentleman on the initiative order either. Oh wait, no, you're actually next to Urson. When I sorted it descending, so Urson, you're up. That other kobold will go after you.
All right. Well, I think at this point, Erson is he's pretty pissed off. He doesn't really want to mess with these kobolds, and so he's going to look over to the rest of his crew and say, "You guys, you never seen this side of me before, but let me know how it turns out on the other side." And he is going to rage. And there we go.
Fella. You do you.
And so Erson's eyes are just going to go pretty much blood red, and he's going to be completely blinded by bloodlust. And he's going to vaguely look in the direction of this kobold, and he's gonna try to bite him. He's gonna try to go straight for his throat with his mouth. It's pretty gruesome.
22 definitely hits as you sink your teeth into this kobold for.
And and Erson, in his blinded rage, tries to rip out this kobold's trachea.
So
With that
7 damage.
Yeah, because you're raging, but it doesn't matter because he only has 5 hit points. And that bite to the jugular. Not only do your attempt fails to rip out his jugular because your mouth is so big and his neck is so small that you sever his head completely from his body. So yes, I mean you ripped it out, but it just you see the rest of the body separate, and now you just have a mouthful of kobold neck.
Then with his free action, he's gonna look over at this one and just scream as loud as he possibly can with his big bear voice.
With a head in your mouth.
Yes, exactly. And that's the end of my turn.
Make it intimidation.
That's even more intimidation.
With advantage.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the end of my turn. I bonus action raged, and then I obliterated the kobold.
Yes, but you just said you were going to roar, so that's like a speaking action. But because you just
Yeah.
you decapitated his friend with your mouth, make an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh, gladly.
All right, this kobold is, when it is his turn, he is not going to advance towards you. All right, it is this one's turn. He needs to make a dexterity check for Zadok. If you can give me the exact details of what your spell entails. Is it difficult terrain? It's a 16, so he passes. And my black ribbons.
No, it's Saver Suck.
Okay, Saver Suck. So it's going to.
Once a creature makes a save, it can't be restrained. It's still affected by the difficult terrain, though.
Okay, so it's going to have 5 feet of difficult terrain movement. That's 10 feet, 15, 20. This one's out for Skunk Vengeance. It wants Skunk Vengeance on you. I know you do have your...
Mage armor up, yeah. So my AC is a 15.
So at 18 for 3 piercing.
That hits.
Okay, as it takes this fork, and it just finds a loose little spot in between your Chintanus armor and through your mage armor.
It just goes right through the mage armor,
The next one's gonna rush towards Urson. This attack will be with advantage 23 for 4 piercing.
He hits me, but I have resistance to piercing.
All right, so you'll take 2 piercing damage from the fork.
Incredible.
This kobold,
Rage continues.
This kobold is going to have to make his dexterity saving throw. With that, he rolls a 12. That does not pass. What are the conditions for that?
If he doesn't pass, he's restrained.
Okay, he is restrained.
But they already made it. You already pre-rolled it, yes.
Fine. It doesn't matter. No, it's fine. So he cannot move. He's restrained. He's going to try and throw a cup with a sling for 15 at Urson. But what's the range on a sling?
20.
20? That's a disadvantage.
So an 8 misses.
No, 15.
Oh,
Like
wait.
2060.
15 for 1 bludgeoning damage because you're raging.
All
As
right.
Well, it's an improvised weapon. So 15 for 1 rounded down. It's a cup. 0. He hits you with the cup. It's got stinky water in it. It doesn't do any
No,
damage. It's a
50. It would take out the proficiency bonus for the
Okay.
attack.
All right,
so it's
it's
11.
still 1 damage.
1 damage.
1 damage.
Oh no.
Zadok,
Nothing.
you're up.
I don't like this. Fella hit my face. Don't like him at all. Don't know what I can do about him. Yeah, chill touch.
All right, 14 hits. Roll the damage. It's an attack roll, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, roll the damage.
at disadvantage.
Yeah,
because,
that's what I said. 14 still hits.
Yeah.
All right. You see it chills him to the bone enough to take him down to a knee, but it looks like he still has a little bit of life left in him.
But I'm going to move away.
Also, that's more of a necromantic spell. It's going to use its reaction to make an opportunity attack now.
Yes, I know.
With the fork for 17.
That
Either
hits.
way. Okay, for 5 damage.
I am very, very hurt.
All right.
I took off the stuff.
It's this kobold's turn. He is going to spend his entire turn running away from Urson, just with the sight of him ripping his friend's mouth out, and he is going to attempt to hide up here on the stairwell with a 15. Yeah. That brings us to Alosha. Alosha, it's your turn.
Yeah. Hearing fighting going on behind me, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna take the cup I had, and I'm gonna kind of levitate it in my hand and shatter it, and then the shards are gonna turn into like ever so slightly have like molten on them,
Okay.
or like they start shimmering and they start hovering around me.
Okay.
That's my action.
All right. So you summon 6-inch. You summon a 6-inch magical shard of molten glass that hovers in the air around you for the duration of the spell. Up to 3 shards can be active around you at a time. The shard appears in any color and any pattern you wish.
It
For
looks
the
like
duration of the spell, whenever a creature
Oh,
within
yeah.
5 feet of you makes a successful melee attack, you can use your action to have the shard intercept the attack. That's pretty cool. So, what color are they, and what does it look like?
Yeah, it's gonna shatter in front of me. I thought it said 6 pieces. I read that wrong. So it's gonna shatter into 3 6-inch shards, I guess, right? That means... Yeah. Weird. No, wait. I can keep doing it for 3 of them. Oh, I see. I was a little confused on that.
Yeah, it seems like you could take.
I see.
You could do it.
I can view it 3 times. I got it. I was confused. I thought it said summon 6 of them. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the clay cup, and it's gonna shatter into the shard, and I'm just gonna have it kind of just be the same color the cup was, but it'll have like a shimmer to it.
Sure, it was like a terracotta brown.
Yeah, terracotta brown shimmer to it. And I can't move through this thing. I think I'm blocked by walls.
Oh, it's got the that's the door. So if you like, you could.
Yeah,
You're in the
it's fine.
doorway. I mean, I can scoot you here. So
There we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna be here though. Like I'm just kind of looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my turn. That's all I can do.
It's a weird dynamic lighting map.
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
All right. Any bonus actions?
No, I don't have any bonus actions yet.
All right, Crunch.
I got nothing.
Yes. Now, which one of these horrible creatures has hurt Goreclaw? Which one threw a cup at my bear sir?
The cup would be the one in the farthest corner of Zadok's spell. This one.
Well, he's not going to have a very good time. I hope. Let's give this one a shot, eh?
Dragon Roar.
Dragon Roar. Show spell description. Your voice is amplified to the assault the mind of one creature. The creature must make a charisma saving throw. If it fails, it takes 1d4 psychic and is frightened of you until the start of your next turn. Oh, it's kind of like a vicious mockery per se. All right, so you are targeting Cup Thrower.
Yes,
Kobolds are known for their charisma. 13, he fails. He's going to take 1d4 psychic damage. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Okay. Roll some damage. Oh, it rolled it up here.
Oh, it did 4. Ooh, max damage too. Nice. All right. I mean, so you let out. You describe your roar.
Dude. Well,
Is it
it's
like
very-
a Dovahkiin thump?
No, it's more of a child throwing a tantrum. Do not get dirty water on my bear, and please quit ruining my present. I roar that at this horrible
And
little
you
creature.
see like a look of just complete and utter fear just gripping him. Do you manifest any physical quirks when you cast your spell? Do your eyes glow? I mean, I'm going by your portrait.
You've seen Young Frankenstein, so imagine some Marty Feldman eye action going on a little bit. And also imagine that every capillary I have around my eyes simultaneously burst.
Okay, that's very descriptive. It is the top of the round. 3 of these kobolds are... 2 of them almost incapacitated. 2 of them in perpetual fear. The bartender and the chef are hiding behind the bar. Urson, it is your turn. What do you do? Urson, you may be on mute.
Rip and tear.
I think Alosha said it best. It's all about the ripping and the tearing. We're gonna go after this kobold right here, try to maul him to death. Little blight attack.
23.
7.
I mean, you are truly showing Alosha how much you can actually eat in one sitting at this point. As you, how do you want to do that?
Well, I think I'm just gonna, do the same sort of thing, except shake him around a bit in my mouth before I let him go.
I mean, it's not so much of a letting go as him falling apart as you're shaking him apart. As pieces go flying in directions and there's a spatter of blood, not only on you but on Crunch and the other 2 kobolds that are there as you have decimated him. Do you have any bonus actions or anything that you can do for like when you kill something, like savage attack?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, so Edison is just gonna yell out in a blind rage. I'm just gonna leap upon this table. He's gonna look over at this kobold and he's gonna use his bonus action to try to pin this guy to the ground using his bear hug ability.
Ooh.
And so I'm gonna make an unarmed strike, try to hit this guy. He takes the damage, and we'll see.
Oh my.
Oh, that's a crit.
And he basically swipes him with the big bear, this big mid of a paw.
How do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Well, he just kind of bats him away with his paw, and I'm guessing that the kobold goes flying into this
Yes, exactly.
fireplace over
exactly.
there.
As
Yeah.
you just full on, just bear rage, just like you just flying him into the hearth, and he's just screaming on fire, and as his life force finally just thankfully takes him from the pain. I mean, you heard a crunch when he landed in there too. Now it's
Poking my head out, I jerk back as I see a kobold fly by.
yeah.
Oh, it smells so good.
All right. Let me take.
And then Edison is gonna jump down from the table and start just barreling towards this other one right here in a blind rage.
The
And that's
one
the end
who's
of his turn.
already afraid of you, who's literally
Yeah,
shitting himself in the corner.
he's just freaking out. Yes.
Mhm.
That's the end of my turn.
It's this one's turn. He has to move as far as he can away because he's frightened at difficult terrain. Oh no, he's still restrained. He's got to make a dexterity saving throw to try and repeat the save. 15 beats the DC of the black ribbons. He's just gonna go duck behind the bar, and
Oh, difficult terrain though.
yeah, I know,
Walk
but
out.
it's only 5. He still had enough
Yeah.
movement to get over the bar, and he's gonna attempt to hide behind the bar. Well, okay, he can roll a 7. Zadok, it is your turn. You are probably pretty banged up, I imagine.
I am very, very, very hurt. Can I see any of these little lizard people that have attacked me?
Yes, you can see all of them. This one is actually not on the turn order, although he should be. Which will be perfect. He'll go next. But yes, you can see.
I'm going to
Roll a
this
perception.
is-
Your passive perception. You cannot. You can see this one, and you would have seen the one duck behind the bar. You do not see the one that's over here in the corner on the top of the stairs.
I'm just gonna go with the one I can see the most of. He looks like a juicy fella to go for this with, and then we're going to cast Hamstring. I don't want him to run away from my friends.
So hamstring. This is a cantrip. 60-foot range. You create a barbed arrow of eldritch energy and send it at a target you can see within range. Make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, the target takes 1d4 force and cannot take reactions until the end of its next turn. That's kind of cool.
Yes.
Make a ranged spell attack.
What I do is I throw up teeth from the skunk. I throw up the teeth.
Well, you turned it into ash, so I don't know if you can regurgitate the teeth.
I formed the teeth of the skunk into a piercing barb. And I don't have this on my thing, so it's a 1. Where's my?
Just roll a d20 and add your spellcasting modifier. So it's going to be what, your intelligence?
It's a 1d20 plus 4.
Yeah. That should probably
16.
hit. Yep, that hits.
So 1d,
1d4.
and they can't take reactions.
Yep.
It's
Alright, 3 points.
and it's a bunch of little like skunk teeth. Like it's just literally like a vomiting motion out of my mouth, like teeth come flying out of my mouth, like at high velocity, like because
Yeah,
I absorbed the skunk.
And then as the teeth form, they form into a single point, and they just hit this kobold right in the shoulder, and push him back into the wall a little bit. He is stuck to the wall over here.
Have you seen grandmother?
That's going to bring us to him. He's going to make a sling attack against Urson, who's the closest.
He's still out of range though, isn't he?
It's going to be a disadvantage. It's just what he can do. He's kind of stuck to the wall. It's all he's got left. He's going to pull out his sling and try and make a sling attack against Urson. For 3 bludgeoning damage. Because you're raging. You're the only person I can ever actually hit. It is this kobold's turn. He's no longer frightened, but seeing all now that he's shaken the fear of that, but seeing that numbers are not in his favor. He doesn't see the other one. He sees his friend pinned to the wall. He's just going to use his entire movement to get Urson. You're going to get an attack of opportunity against him as he tries to run to the door.
Do it, son. Live the barbarian life.
Yeah, you got an attack of opportunity against him. He's just making a beeline. 23 for the bite.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
For kill number 4, as he runs by, he doesn't even see you there, just because of he looked out like to the north of the screen and saw his friends were just gone and just tried to book it, and you just get him right in the back and bite him clean in half. All right. Alosha.
Yep.
It is your turn. And if you need me to move you, but you can.
Yeah, I'm good. I can move back. Yeah. I'm gonna just poke out and be like, look around. Are we good to go? So I look around to everyone, and I'm gonna.
It's a
Goes my
bloodbath.
Ow.
This is the scene from fucking Kill Bill, right?
I'm just gonna, with my thumbs, point towards the door and begin to walk towards the door and just walk out.
Sure. That brings.
And I'm just gonna wait outside and make sure no one like guards aren't coming or anything. I'm just gonna hang out outside.
Oh, you're in the ghetto. There's no guards.
I figured, but I just wanted to make sure.
This area of town is not afforded the same protection as the rest of the gleaming, immaculate city of Zobek. Zobek in Midgard would be akin to a Waterdeep or a Neverwinter. Probably more of a Neverwinter, due to its technological advancements and prime location, literally in the crossroads of the entire continent. Crunch. Your bear servant, although you may be rethinking that role, maybe not. Have you seen him just decimate all of these kobolds so far? It is your turn. There is. What's your passive perception?
11.
11. You would have seen the kobold hop over the bar, but currently all that's in your line of sight is a kobold who has been pinned to the wall, but is wriggling his way out over to your east.
Well, I think I'm going to use my movement to get on over to my new best friend, Goreclaw. Goreclaw, are you well? Oh my goodness, they've stolen his voice.
Goreclaw completely ignores Crotch and has his eyes set on this kobold over here.
Oh no, yes, my mistake. I see you're in some sort of murder trance. Well, that's fine. Let's try and help that along. Targeting one that is against the wall here. I am going to say, I do not care very much for your pet skunk, and your friend hurt my friend.
Oh, with a -2, still beats it.
Oh my goodness! I stomped my tiny little feet.
In a fit of like angsty disappointment and like, this should have worked. You're not.
You're ruining everything. You're ruining my party.
Favorite assault.
That brings us to Urson, the decimator of kobolds. You are the van of goblins.
Yeah, so Urson's just gonna charge up right to this.
Do
right
it.
to this one, and just
Do
try to fuck him
barbarian,
up again.
man.
He's gonna, yeah. This time, just go for an arm and try to rip it off. He does indiscriminate.
Yeah, I mean, it hits, and these boys don't have
Rips his arm off.
All right, you now have a kobold arm in your hand.
In your mouth.
In your
It's
mouth.
in my mouth.
It's
Yeah.
all. This has been all bites. Yeah.
All bites. Very effective on kobolds so far.
I am clapping my hands in front of my face wildly. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I rip off this, and I just kind of rip his arm out of his socket, and then just let him kind of bleed out and die in front of me. And then I look over at this one. who's the last one left? I don't think I maybe have like 2 more movement. I can't make it all the way there.
No.
And I'm just gonna roar at his face.
All right.
That's the end of my turn.
Wow.
It is his turn. It is gonna.
Is he gonna shit himself?
We're gonna roll.
Just a prank, bro. Just a prank.
Roll a Constitution saving throw. 15. No, he does not shit himself. If it was a disadvantage, maybe. He's just gonna book it out. He's gonna try and make it to the back, but he realizes there's no other door, and then he's gonna run back out, and now he's just standing there. That brings us to you, Zadok.
Fredo, you. Why you throw spoons at me, Fredo? And I'm going to cast Hamstring.
All right, that hits. He has one hit point.
At disadvantage, does that hit?
He has a 12 AC. Can you? Did you move so you could see him? You're kind of like you can't really see him from where you're at. You would have had to move to like here.
Oh, I thought I could see him from that with my range on that.
No,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
would have.
There's a wall and there's a staircase like that are there. You can't see him currently. He's behind the bar, and there's a wall and a staircase in your way. I mean, you can move. You have enough movement, and you would be able to see him if you moved to there.
If necessary, I'd have moved to there. Yes, then cast that
And
and
a
then
12 hits.
damage.
All right, and then
Cast it.
All right, so roll the damage. I mean, he has one hit point, so
It's 1d4.
yes.
Force damage. 1d4.
He has one
He
hit
has
point.
one.
How
Then
do
I
you wanna
don't
do
need
that?
to roll. Why, friend? Why? Oh, and then I just want his legs to explode.
All right, roll the damage, and we'll see if they explode.
There we go. 1d4. It's a 1. So then maybe he just breaks an ankle. Then
Yeah,
he kind of just falls over. It's not what I want. But
it's maybe like he suffered a deep vein thrombosis as the blood clot rushes to his head, and then he just falls over out of sheer panic and dies. All right, so we are out of initiative.
I'm going to ask this table right here why that happened, and then I'm going to really take a deep breath.
Roll an Arcana check. Spoiler alert! I don't know if this is ever going to work.
I'm going to.
So that one time it whispers, "Son."
Do I have advantage on? Do I have advantage because I'm using speak with the animate object?
Mama knows best.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It doesn't know grandmother.
This is 24.
It doesn't know grandmother. It just
Okay.
knows kobolds don't wear underpants.
Butts.
It knows butts. It knows one word.
Okay.
Butts.
Okay.
It's conjunction junction up in here.
Okay. And I'm gonna just continuously stare at this table. Them and I are having a deep conversation. And everybody else can do what they're going to do because I'm having a deep conversation with this table, and it's going to take me forever to learn butts.
All right, so as that dies down, the orc and the 2 goblins that have kind of ducked out of the way. The orc starts with a slow clap. The 2 goblins kind of chime in afterwards. Between the kobolds, if you're picking up their pocket change, between the 6 of them, they have about 12 silver and maybe 5 copper. Nothing really of value. They don't wear a lot of armor. you know, their bodies have been pretty decimated by the savageness of um, of Urson's mouth. But as that chaos has come to a close, you guys have a chance to reflect about the choices that you've made, how the situation could have been handled. Alosha.
Yeah, so Urson comes out of his rage and just kind of looks around at the entire. I think that
There's still an arm hanging from your teeth.
yeah, I kind of drop the arm from my mouth and just kind of look around and say, "Oh, well, I suppose that escalated quickly, didn't it? I told you,
It's the Ron Burgundy beam.
I told you." What happened? Is everyone all right?
That was wonderful. I must say that you did what? Now you did intend to murder a lot of people, yes?
Well, that's what I'm told happens when this sort of thing happens. So, job well done, I suppose.
No, absolutely, yes. Abe, just top marks across the board. You murdered so good.
Gonna originally cast Speak with against the candle on the table. That's gonna take 10 minutes. So fire.
Skonsky appears from behind the bar. Good lord! Did you have to kill all of them? How am I
There's
supposed to
another
make
one.
any money when you
We
guys
missed
kill
one.
all of my patrons?
You
I
could
mean-
have been more hospitable, like. There wasn't much I could do about it then, eh?
I mean,
They just kind of came out of nowhere.
they sprayed you with a skunk, and then
They did do that.
and then this guy over here, I don't even know what to call him. He just turned the skunk into a pile of ashes and then sucked the ashes into his mouth. I mean, I
The name
feel
is-
like he took that just a little too personal and just maybe overreacted a little bit. And then, I mean, I will say, Mr. Bearfolk, who did not drink my water, and then asked me for tea. By the way, that tea is now ready. It's only been 10 minutes since you asked for that. Here's your tea. My,
You know, I like it lukewarm.
It's
Just like it,
probably
just right.
oversteeped.
listen, we're gonna have to.
Not too hot, not too cold, just right.
I don't want any problems. I clearly don't want any problems. You ate 5 kobolds in like 30 seconds. And I heard your friend over here questioning how much you could eat. And I feel like that bet is solved. But I gotta clean up all this fucking mess now. So if it's all the same, I politely am gonna have to ask you to leave.
Is there ginger in this tea? It's
Did you say-
incredible.
No, that's sock. It's a sock.
Oh,
It's a sock with you know, it's what we had. We didn't have any filters, and you know, I kind of just crumpled up some stuff and I put it in the sock, thinking I could steep it. You know, we don't get tea asked for much around here. But needless to say,
pretty tangy then.
I don't think I'm gonna have a whole lot of more patrons for tonight, and there's a lot of blood. This is gonna take me a day or two to clean up, and so, like I said, I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be an inhospitable hostess, but yeah, you know, you killed all my business, so you gotta go. Please don't eat
All
me.
right.
Do
Well, if
you
it's all the same, here you go. And Urson hands them 5 gold pieces. It's the least that he could do.
Oh,
Says, "This is all yours. I apologize. It happens from time to time when I,
listen,
kind of black out and rage out like that. But I was provoked. It was that little skunk guy. All right, toodaloo."
Listen, I understand. I understand completely. Like, they had the forks, they had the knives. One of them broke my plates. I would have fucking bashed his head in myself. But you ripped him apart by his throat. You separated his throat from his head and his shoulders, and well, you know, thank you for doing that. And I'm not mad, but this is a lot of blood. It's a lot of blood.
Here's five, like I said, mate. Here's 5 gold. Don't spend it all at once.
It may take
Urson
almost that.
Goreclaw. Don't forget the name, baby. And then
I-
Urson heads out.
the name, maybe you should change it to Urson Goremouth.
Mhm.
Just a casual observation. You didn't do a whole
Noted.
lot. You got one claw, but you kind of knocked that guy into the fire, which I greatly appreciate. It'll burn a little longer. It doesn't smell like garbage in here so much. Kind of smells like cooked meat. And he didn't make a mess, so I can't complain about that guy. Not complaining, but
The more you're talking, it sounds like you're complaining a lot, man.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and leave.
that was exciting. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Let's get this moving.
All right. So as you make your way out of the Rat and the Roach,
Had to go in there.
Well, I don't think we'll be invited back.
I figured.
I don't think they'll let us rent the place out. So I think that explains pretty much everything.
Goreclaw is being modest. He's a machine designed only for killing, and it was an extremely entertaining thing.
The doc has snuck out the back.
well, there's only one entrance, but
The doc would try to sneak away. He does not know these people. He does not know why they helped him. He just would go and try to hide in the alley, the garbage.
well,
Where
as you
did,
make your way out of the Rat and the Roach, there appears to be pretty littered streets, lots of garbage. The sound did not carry out too much. You're near the south exit of the city of Zobek. There is an exit through the Kobold ghettos over one of their many chain bridges. As you walk through the streets, again, there's kobolds up on some of the rooftops looking down. Children, smaller kobolds, and of all ages, watch you as you make your way through the streets, conversing through that. As you rummage through the city and make your way through the gate, you finally catch a breath of the cool evening air. You see on the outskirts of the city, there is a general guard presence, and there is small makeshift settlements outside. You catch the light of lanterns and suburbs of the city of Zobek. It would be about a 3 or 4 day journey from Zobek to Red Tower. You would have been given a map by Phineas in the along with the provisions and the gold that he provided to you. But you could make camp here for the night before setting out in the morning. And
Okay.
with that first little excursion, you would also reach level 2.
Ah!
No way.
Yeah, I mean, and just individual
awesome.
experience and role playing, and I mean, that was not how that was planned, but that was well done. Urson is a machine.
It seems, yeah, barbarians are good.
Hey, Urson is the new
Definitely
Zen.
when they roll well.
Yeah. I mean, all I gotta say is, nom 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 is basically the Zen mentality. And if Urson is going to pick up the new mantle of nom nom nom, so be it.
You
So
just, I mean, you just have to be relentless. If you're a barbarian and you rage, you have
You just
to,
give it, yeah, you commit to it, and
so as
and
you
you
guys
just murder
apparently
everything.
likes it.
Yeah.
Murder everything.
so as the adrenaline wears off, and you guys are making camp. Uh, Now that you have a few minutes to collect yourselves, now would be maybe a good chance to chit chat about really what it is that you guys are supposed to be doing
Oh,
between yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
the doc would be following this group, maybe very far away. He would not have
Mm-hmm.
gone with. He wasn't invited.
Just following us.
Let's see what we can do about that.
Yeah, if he wasn't invited, he would follow you because
Yeah.
it's
He's still there,
weird.
but far away. Like, watching us.
Well, it
You
works.
guys have noticed a thing is following us, right?
I assume that was part of the present. There's a,
Yes.
a-
As
I
we're
guess
as we're getting ready for the camp.
there's a bear, and there's a human woman, and there's an insect creature, and you're all on the way to help my conquest of the Scarlet Citadel. We're all on the same page.
Well, is he? I'm gonna like motion to the insect thing that's pretty far away from us. That's been following us. Are you being stealthy about it?
I'm not stealthy, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
what I
that far. Yeah. My stealth is like fucking. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not that. Actually, I'm not that far away.
Yeah, I figure you're like in sight, but keeping your distance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
So we've noticed you. We're just like, eh.
yeah. It's Saturday morning cartoon like stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you all know. I think I'm good. Yeah.
In that case, I will cup my hands around my mouth and call out into the darkness. Straight creature, large creature. Would you like to come into the light, large creature?
I think at that point maybe you roll a perception check.
Who is the large creature? Sorry, I had to 2 seconds. I had to step away.
He's trying to spot me. I'm asking Jack for a perception check.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can see a.
See if he knows where. See if he sees where I am.
Well, if you wandered off, you're also pretty
Well-
dark-skinned in nature, just by the dark tintinous nature of the Satari.
Yeah. It's just to see whether he sees me or not. I'm gonna roll to see how.
Friend, I rolled a 3. I rolled a 3. You can roll whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wizard. You're
dice
asking a wizard,
dice or
buddy.
Dice or dice.
Nice, so nice.
Stealth. They still have a +2, so as long as it's not a natural 1.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
so
right.
he unfortunately does not notice you.
I going to walk up behind little Darrow person and whisper in little Darrow person's ear. I'm looking for grandmother. Do you know? If you know.
I turn my head this way and that.
My head is literally like right up against your.
Oh, all right.
You rolled a 3, son.
No, absolutely. All right. So I startled a bit and say, "You are looking for grandmother?
Yes, grandmother.
She,
Yes,
hmm,
yes, Baba. Child.
she is in the Scarlet Citadel, right down at the bottom, in a
You
rocking
know,
chair.
you know this.
I know this. Yes. Um, what may I call you?
Sadaka Jesse Baba.
Is that I'm all of that at once?
Zad, Zadak.
That
Ase, Jesse
that
Baba.
yes, grandmother is in the Scarlet Citadel where we are going for my party, and I will become the king of the Scarlet Citadel um, with your grandmother.
I'd like an insight check at disadvantage against this fellow.
Make an insight check at disadvantage. Again, well, I mean,
I'm purposely asking him for disadvantage.
against the persuasion roll.
Well, then send insight versus disadvantage.
Roll it.
I have a very low insight. I am not proficient. Oh, I am proficient. So yeah, at disadvantage. Yeah.
Natural
Oh my
one.
goodness.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Nah.
I don't know.
If you want to make your own rules, you got to live by them.
No. I thought I did proficiency. That's why I said that. But yeah, I'll stick with that. You you know her. I can tell. I don't know you, but you know her.
Name is Crunch Goldenthorn. Pleased as heck to meet you. We're on our way to the Scarlet Citadel.
You know her. I know you. I know
Would you
you.
mind backing up from my face just a tick?
Hey, and if anybody listening or watching later on, we now have a new sponsor. It is skunkvengeance.com. So go check it out, skunkvengeance.com.
Do we really have new sponsor? No. No, I'm literally like right up in Crunch's face. Like
Close talking.
Xenomorph about to impregnate. Like that level of closeness.
Yes,
Right
no,
up in the face.
I understand. Just a little bit of space. Goreclaw, Goreclaw, would you mind coming here for a moment, please, friend?
Oh,
Yes, what's going on there?
I was just talking to this fellow's name is
hi.
and we need to go find grandmother, and she is in the Scarlet Citadel. Isn't that a fun coincidence?
She might be. Do you know grandmother?
Grandmother?
Yes.
You
I
remember?
don't. I don't believe I've ever met a grandmother.
Oh, you remember grandmother Goreclaw? You remember? She's at the Scarlet Citadel. We were just talking about it moments before that terrible skunk situation.
Does sound familiar.
Alosha, make an Arcana.
Erson's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Erson's gonna make an insight check.
I don't have access to my sheet because I'm upgrading, but I just rolled a d20.
Yeah.
I think I have plus.
What's your
I have
intelligence
plus
modifier?
4. 2. I think I have plus 4. I think I'm proficient in it.
I can do it real quick. Alosha, you would know, with your knowledge of the arcane and your upbringing around people that discussed lore and just your heavy arcane background.
Yeah.
That
Grandmothers of the gods.
grandmother is a common name for those who are followers of Baba Yaga?
Hmm.
Grandmother is here. Grandmother is now. Grandmother loves you. Don't fear her now.
You, so you two see sort of the situation I've arrived at vis-a-vis communication.
You know, I'm not so sure about this one.
Well, don't judge a book by its cover. Right? You just went on a murder spree just a moment ago.
Very true. I did give you a warning, though. I told you up front.
Don't push the button. Don't push the button.
I am not.
Grandmother loves that.
I loved it. It was great. It was very entertaining. What I'm saying is that perhaps this sort of pestilent skunk-eating beast is a friend. Why not? You see, it's laughing. It's having a jolly time.
Well, you know, as long as you're paying me, you know, I suppose I'll go along with whatever you say.
Oh, you want money? Is that all
Well,
you
no, you've already paid me. I don't have a
Oh,
choice. I'm your
no.
guide.
That's fine.
I'm bound to protect you.
That was probably just a fun tip from Mumsy and Daddy. You can have all the money you want. There's nothing cheaper than money, friend. Have it by the barrel. Once we have the Scarlet Citadel in our grasp, there'll be no need of money.
Is there a thing you can't see yourself holding to?
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
something
I'm
something you
I'm
couldn't.
sorry, you got something in your throat there, mate.
Yes, it's probably a bit of skunk if I were to guess.
Yeah, she's
there-
skunk.
Is there a thing
Is there a thing?
that you couldn't see yourself letting go of?
Oh no.
Huh.
Oh, this is quite ominous, I must say.
I just
We are you talking to me? You letting go, and I'm a blunt instrument, mate. You know, I just lead people through the wilderness. If they need some help,
I
need a
just-
backbone. Go ahead.
I just have a certain way of letting people let go of things they don't want to.
I think I'm gonna raise my hand excitedly and wave it around. I think I've got it. This one is saying that it likes to steal things sometimes. I think.
I don't steal.
Maybe?
I mean that would be my guess. You have a ponderous way of speaking. No
They
offense.
They just let them go.
Oh, so in no theft, but you discard things. You are a discarded thing. Well, now this is a party game. This is 20 questions now. Were you discarded?
I don't think I belong to
Oh,
anything.
oh no. Oh goodness. Did you, Elosha, Goreclaw, did you hear that? It's the saddest thing I've heard all day. And I've heard several things die.
Yeah, unfortunately. If you want to come with us, we're going into the the Radiant Citadel, one of them.
So many citadels.
I know.
Oh, I think it's
The
Citadel.
Citadel.
The Radiant.
The Radiant.
Sunless, the Radiant,
belongs to Tyrant.
Crimson.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite place on
There
all of the
is-
citadels.
Yes, exactly. It belongs to a place that doesn't know its value with its customer base. Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. It's not the Radiant Citadel.
You have to go meet Rex in the gang.
What did I say? Did I say Sunless Citadel before?
You said
You
No,
said
you said
Radiant.
Radiant. Yeah,
Radiant.
yeah.
John has said sunless, and we are covering
Yeah.
all of our.
Okay, good. I thought I said yeah. I was like, I've been mixing it up with sunless all the time too.
I
I
keep
can't
saying it
get
too.
them all straight.
It's
I mean,
okay.
speaking of it, if you ever see any pesky sunshine, please let me know. I don't care for this stuff at all. Just fun
It's
fact.
like water, fish fucking it. You know.
Yep. I mean, yes, quite. See, we're all getting along now. You belong, Zadok. Come on
That
now.
was not me.
Hmm?
That was a voice in my head.
Oh, all the time, constantly. Keening, coruscating voices screaming endlessly into the night about this and that, blood and murder and death. It's simply it's a fact of life. You learn to adapt. We overcome.
Oh, you little man. You're a talker.
I am. I apologize for
Yeah.
that. I talk when I get nervous, and you don't smell particularly good. Neither do I. Glass houses. But you did sneak up on me in the dark and begin whispering at me. I'm holding on as best I can. All told, honestly.
You will be tasty. You will be fun.
Mm.
Nice to meet you.
Oh well, there we are. It is
It's
nice
all been fun.
to. Hmm? I'm gonna go ahead and sort of sidle up to Goreclaw just a little bit closer, and
I don't know what's going on with that one.
no, I know it. It it is nice to meet you too.
Yes,
There.
it is.
Okay, that was lovely.
I
As the fire is set, the camp is made. Um, this conversation of the back and forth between Crunch and Zadok goes on aimlessly for another half hour or so. As Elosha, you're the first to drift off. Being the most practical, you determine that sleep is probably the best course of action. Gerson, as your adrenaline has subsided, you're next to fall asleep. You're under the protection of the outskirts of the guards and still in the suburbs a little bit. But Zadok and Crunch, you both finally do succumb to exhaustion for the day.
I don't sleep. I take a point of exhaustion.
Sure, that's your prerogative. Especially for the day travel ahead in the morning. But
I don't trust these people.
that's fine. That's again. You have your
Fair.
bed that you have made for the evening, which includes staying up all night talking to inanimate objects. But that I think is a good stopping point for tonight. I want to thank everybody for playing. Anybody who has listened, if you enjoy what we're doing, this will be done on a weekly basis. You know, feel free to comment, make any feedback. It'd be greatly appreciated. We do hope to improve the quality as this goes on. Obligatory, please like and subscribe. And we look forward to continuing this adventure next week with this group of happenstance heroes as they make their way into the world of Midgard. Again,